What's going on, you guys? All right, the time is now. It, according to the clock, is actually now trade deadline day. The Montreal Canadiens also just losing in overtime to the Edmonton Oilers in a game where they played well enough to win. They had their chances to finish the game. They couldn't do that, but they lock up a point and are now, again, 1 point out of the final wildcard spot, 2 points out of the first wildcard spot. Columbus, everybody lost tonight that needed to lose in terms of the Canadiens trying to, chase this playoff spot here. So we're going to quickly talk about the game, and I mean quick, and then we're going to talk about trade deadline and what does this team need? Can they add something that's going to make a difference for the rest of this season? Is it worth it? I want to know what you guys think. I'm going to ask you in a moment. So anyway, here, the Canadiens lose, like I said, in overtime, but Lane Hutson, man, again, what a play on that Yoel Armia goal to tie it 2-2. The Canadiens fought back twice in this game, down a goal. Cole Caulfield getting his own rebound, tying the game 1-1, and then, of course, Armia tying it 2-2. But the Edmonton Oilers make the Canadiens pay in overtime again for a second time in, I think it was last season in Edmonton. The game ended the exact same way except on a 4-on-3 power play where Edmonton, you just can't give them too many chances. But, Connor McDavid over to Bouchard and didn't require a Bouch bomb to finish this one. It was just a sweet, sweet saucer pass. Just flipped it right down on the tape for Evan Bouchard to finish this game and beat Montembeault, who had a very good game tonight. I thought, personally, Sam Montembeault played very, very well. So I also thought Brendan Gallagher had a heck of a game tonight. He was a dog on a bone. After taking that penalty earlier in the game, and let's just pull it up here for Brendan Gallagher, he took a high sticking penalty, and then out of the box, the Canadiens were actually on a 5-on-3 at that point. They were killing a 5-on-3, and Brendan Gallagher got out of the box and just played an awesome shift. I just wanted to give Gally a shout out. That line was going tonight. Every line except the second line was going tonight. If you notice near the end of this game, right near the end of regulation, the second line of Patrick Laine, Owen Beck, and Alex Newhook was not getting out on the ice. Marty shortened his bench and was only going with the other three lines because the Dvorak, Gallagher, Anderson line was going. Obviously, Slavkovsky and Caulfield and who's the other guy? Suzuki. They were going, and the Armia, Heineman, and Evans line was going too. So it was a circumstance of those guys were going more than the second line, but to me that's a concern. And going into this trade deadline, can you rely on Owen Beck for the rest of the way this season? He's been playing well, playing responsible. It's a big, tall task, I think, for the Canadiens to ask, but how are they going to address the second line center situation now with Kirby Dach out for the rest of the season, with him may not being able to be the second line center of the future? It's pretty well clear he's not going to be. I hate saying it to a point because you don't, anyway, it's just not going to happen. I think Michael Hage is the future second line center for the Canadiens, but I digress. This game, I already talked about the offense and the goals and everything, and a beautiful goal by Corey Perry. Shout out to former Canadiens player Corey Perry, who Lane Hutson and actually it was Jaden Struble that was a victim of getting beat on that play by Corey Perry. But I also want to say that it was good to see Arbor Xhekaj near the end of the game getting more ice time, getting more trust near the end of the game when this is a massive game for the Canadiens in the standings. So that being said, the Canadiens shortened their bench. I think the second line needs the most help in terms of, I just don't know. I think that the Laval Rocket would love to have Owen Beck back for their playoff run, but at this point, you need him on the Canadiens, right? Who else do you have unless they add somebody right now? So either Kent Hughes is working up a big deal that's going to bring in a player now that we're going to keep for years to come, and he's going to trade a lot of picks and prospects for it, or who knows what. But I have no idea what to expect at this deadline. I have to be honest with you. I just don't know. So I want to know from you. I want to know from you guys, what do you think makes the most sense? What do the Canadiens need the most based on the game you just watched against the Edmonton Oilers? What do they need the most if they're going to get any help at all at the trade deadline here? Because I thought the whole team played well tonight overall. I thought three out of four lines were going. I didn't think the second line had a bad whole game or anything, but I think just the other lines were going more, hence why the bench got short near the end. But what do they need? What do they need the most? And there's interest in David Savard apparently right now, a lot of interest, but unless it's a really good, sensible deal, we're not going to deal him. So it's got to be a good deal. It's got to help the Canadiens in the future. And the Canadiens don't want picks and prospects. It's got to be a hockey trade. So what hockey trade could happen at this deadline, and does it make sense to go for the playoffs as hard as you can right now? I think the team deserves it, but is that what they need? Is this team good enough still? I don't think they are. I'm not going to say that they're good enough right now on paper to get to the playoffs with what they have. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. I don't see it. That's not a slam to the Canadiens and how they've been playing to get to this point, to be in the mix. They're here. They're here. What do they need? What do they need? I want to hear it from you down below. It's trade deadline time. Let's go. Tell me what you guys think, and we'll see you after. Hopefully, we have a deal or two to talk about with the Canadiens tomorrow. I will see you guys, or today. It's actually today. It's deadline day. It's after midnight. So tell me what you guys think. What do you want to see from the Canadiens, whether it's a trade out or a trade in? They could be buyers for the first time in a long time, since the Eric Stahl deal, I think, in 2021, right? All right, guys, let me know what you think down below. It's an exciting time to be a Habs fan. We are progressing. We're moving forward. Tell me what you think. See you soon. Ciao for now.